All right, good morning, everybody. All right, today we have quite a few things to go through. We probably have even more if I go back through the list here. So let me go back quickly and take a look at anything new that's popped up. Might be worth playing. Okay, we're good with what we got. So we have SPRC here. It's ran up quite a bit. We see this going from 98 cents to a high there of $1.74. So we got quite a bit of range. It was quite a jump here on their news of phase 2 data for their Alzheimer's drug turned out to have some pretty positive results. So good news for them. So that went up. GCT is looking pretty good as well, going from lows around $5 here to highs of about 670, almost 680. I do think this is going to continue the trend. It looks like it's bouncing off VWAP here close to open, so hopefully that continues. Org's looking okay, I guess. I mean, realistically, we saw this start opening around $1.60. It did hit a high of $2. However, the realistic high is $1.89. We are right on this 200, so I mean, this is going to be the make or break for the stock today. If it can bounce off the 200 and start moving back up, it might look good. If it breaks down from the 200, we probably won't end up playing it, at least for a while. CTM's also got the same kind of story going as orgs. Looks like it opened up around $1.09, went to a high here of $1.47. Back down to $1.16 currently, right on that 200 line. So if it stays above on open, we're looking good. If not, probably won't touch it. AEHL, not really a whole lot to go off of here. We've got only a couple candles that look even half decent. Looks like it's ranging from about 61 cents there to a high of 64 cents. So really nothing there. Veru had quite the move here, going from lows of 9.14 to a high of $14. So we've got a decent range. Not really the kind of price range I like playing, but since it's got quite a bit of volatility, if that holds into open, it could be looking pretty good. We've got DWAC. We have quite a bit of movement today on DWAC, going from lows of around $21 all the way up to $30. Now we're sitting around that $21 range again. We did hit lows of down to $20 on this, so I mean, what's going to happen with this? Not really sure. If I had to take a guess, I would say this is probably moving more or less based on Twitter. So, you know, what can we expect out of that? Not really sure. OYST didn't really have too much of a move here, going from $11 to a high here of $12.20. To me, this looked more like an offering than anything else, especially with the dead price action lately. But we'll see if this moves on open. Beyond that, yeah, we're mostly going to be watching SPRC on open, GCT, because that one looks pretty good. Orgs looks like it's bouncing, so that's healthy. CTM could break above really quickly, so we need to keep an eye on that. AHL, I'm not really worried about. Veru, I'm not too worried about. DWAC, I think we'll catch something on if it continues to move up. And I don't think we're going to be watching OYST for very much here. And yeah, we have a couple other things to look at, but I don't think it really matters. So SPRC looks like it's dropping a little bit here. Looks like it might hold though. We're seeing some decent price action saying this might hold. GCT, nice move here. Zoom in a little bit for you guys. We're touching VWAP here, 625, bouncing off to about 640. So I think that this could be a decent place to get into at 625. So this is GCT 625. Go for about $7 on it. If it starts to move, we want to see a decent move out of it. And we want to see at least, probably a 20-cent stop here. So probably a 605 stop. So we saw it move from that 625 area. Anywhere around there is good to get into. All over the place currently. SPRC does drop down to the 20 EMA. Let's see if it holds on this. If not, we've got another support level at $1.44. I'm expecting to hold. Orgs, you know what? It's not really doing anything quite yet. CTM, nice movement. Oh, and exploded upwards. Kind of, that's what we were hoping to see out of that, so that kind of goes up on the bullish scale. GCT is looking really good here on 657, so if you got in, take some profits. GCT, 650-ish. SPRC looking like it's hitting that line, breaking through a little bit. That's not good. It's not what we want to see out of that. Veru, nice movement. So we're seeing some bullishness out of Veru. We can go ahead and jump in on that. Probably about 1250. I would prefer to get in lower, but it looks like 1250 is going to be about where you could get in. We're going to go for about $14 on it with a 12. Let's give it a $12 stop, I think. That gives us a little bit of room. If you can get lower than 1250, you could probably move that stop down, but I don't think you're going to. So about $12 is going to be the area you want to aim at for some support there. GCT, nasty red candle, dropping all the way down to 610 here. So on GCT, we're looking at a 605 stop. We're very, very close. We just touched it, actually. So looks like we will be stopping on the remainder of GCT. That big drop on CTM here as well, all the way down to that 113 area. This could be a nice recovery play on both GCT and CTM. So I'm likely going to jump back in on one of these. I'm just trying to decide which one. They both look like they have an opportunity to turn around here. I think CTM might hold the best opportunity though, price-wise. So I'm going to go CTM here, $1.11 if I can. I'm going to aim for that $1.30 mark with a dollar, probably give it a $1.08 stop. So we're hoping for a really hasty recovery here. We're not wanting this to linger around and get close to that $1.08 mark. And it looks like it is recovering nicely. Once we hit about that $1.15, $1.16 area, make sure you take a little bit off the table. Making profit. CTM, about 115-ish, 115, 116, something like that. GCT also looks like it's got the potential. SPRC is moving back up. I do like that this is making a little bit of headway here, dropping back down to that 145 level. I would like to give it a shot as well. SPRC, 145, maybe even 143. Go for one. I kind of want to aim for about 170 on it. And then we're going to be looking at maybe a 140 stop. That's only 3 cents. We could probably give this 4 cents. We could go 139 if you get in 143. But it looks like we're dropping a little bit more here. So we're almost at this bottom band, which makes me think we should turn around here pretty quick. So I'm actually okay taking this at 139 as an entry. And looking at this as probably like a 136 stop. I don't anticipate this should drop any more than where it's at right now. So 136 seems like a pretty safe level. We are bearish already on that MACD. Having a problem pulling the trigger here. Yeah, I'm gonna do it. If you can get lower than 139, probably better. I wouldn't go any lower than like 137 on this. SPXC. Okay. CITM did bounce back up, hit that 116 area. Make sure you take at least a little bit off the table there. Decent recovery. GCT, looks like we picked the right stock for the recovery because this one has not done so. In fact, it dropped further. SPRC holding 140. So on SPRC, if you got a 139, 138, 140, you're probably going to be looking at about 145 to take some profit. So make sure you do so. Put a green line there for you. Just put the line and roll it down to 145. There we go. After 145, you're probably looking at probably 152, 153 for some more profit. And then you probably want to take some up there at that 162 level, but we'll just put it at 163 for now. And that should be good. We're at 142 currently. CTM dropping back down, so we did hit that high there of 115, 116. Drop back down to that 112 area. today's not looking especially strong, so it's one of those things where we want to take profits relatively quickly. Veru's also looking good around this 1240, 1250 area. If you had already jumped in, maybe you got even a lower entry than around 1250. It did drop down to a low there of 1219. So it's not looking too bad. You could move your stop down if you want, if you got in lower. You know, maybe 1170 is probably looking like a good area. Maybe even a little bit lower so you're not hitting this area of recovery at all. So maybe down to 1150. It would be the lowest stop that you probably want on this. I'm going to keep mine at 12. I know I got in a little bit lower than anticipated there, about 1233, but you know what? I don't really want to see this drop below that $12 area. So far it's holding, so hopefully it continues to. SPRC, still kind of struggling there. We hit 138. So, you know, we're looking at a 136 stop, which is right there. Oh, nope, that's 135, right there. Got to make these candles a little bit wider so we can actually see all these levels. Okay, so we're hoping to see a nice recovery here. 143 is not bad. I'm actually going to take a little bit at 143. Taking profit, SPRC, 143. Getting a little worried about, oh, we actually jumped up to 145 there. Getting a little worried about the profit on this. So I'm making sure I secure at least a little bit here. CTM still holding so far. AEHL is not doing much. Veru still holding. Not looking too bad, actually. DWAC, you know, down to that $21 level. Hitting the through that final area of support here. So it doesn't look like it's going anywhere we want it to go. And like we said, OYST here's really got nothing going for it. We could actually probably replace it with something else, maybe VAPO. Nope, we don't like that either. SDC. SDC's not looking bad. We had quite a bit of volume here going from 66 cents all the way to 88 cents. Could hold on the 9 EMA here at 77 or 75 cents for a potential bounce. How likely is that though? Volume's a little bit lower. This could be a very good stock to try and get some profits out on, but very risky at the same time, so it's hard to say. Veru is still holding. Bullish looking candles, that's for sure. Volume's still okay. You take any profits on CTM already? Yes, I did. Around that 115 area. XPEV moving today. We could take a look at XPEV for sure. Looks the same as SDC actually. We're pretty close to it. 830 to a high there, 885. Range isn't great on it. I don't expect to see this kind of move again in the near future, but yeah, it might be, could be a possibility. We'll leave it open because we're not sure what else is going to be really running today. So SDC still holding that 9 EMA. I'm just kind of iffy on this, whether I want to get in on it or not. Bullish looking candles, but it did run up quite a bit. I'm expecting a pullback. I know it already had one, but I'm thinking you might hit a little bit more of one down to the 20 EMA, or it could come all the way back down if we can't see any good buying volume coming up. It hit 136. SPRC, yes, I did get stopped out on the remainder there. So unfortunately, yeah, that happened. And we're probably, you know what, this still looks pretty bullish. I kind of want to jump back in on it anyway. I'd probably be looking at a 136 or 137 entry this time and move that stop down a little bit further. I had the room. I got in 138, so I should have moved that stop down a little bit further for myself, but I really didn't want to see it hit that 136 level, and, you know, I got wicked out on it. So that's kind of unfortunate, but it is what it is. Yeah, it's going to go now, isn't it? Yeah, so I think I'm going to have to jump back in on that. SPRC 137-ish. We're gonna 136, 137. Gonna go for that one, at least 155, I would think, with a 130, could afford to give this probably 4 cents. So, you know, you could probably give this a 133 stop if you really wanted to. If you get 136, I would still say 133 is a good place to put your stop. You know, if you get a little higher, you could probably safely put it up to 135. 134 is probably the best area, healthiest area without the too much risk. SDC is holding here. I do like that it is holding. I kind of wish that we had a little bit more data to go off of in the pre-market here to see some support levels, but unfortunately we don't. And we're not really getting anything out of the support levels here, so I kind of want to take the risk on this because it does look good, but at the same time, it could result in a pretty near instant stop out, especially since we're sub $1, and this is ranging quite a bit. So we need to be careful with our entry. I'm thinking probably 74 cents is going to be where I want to get in on this. So this is SDC. Going to go for a 0.74 entry. I'm going to be looking at probably getting back up to at least 0.80. And then a 0.72 stop. So, you know, we give it 2 cents. That's probably not gonna stop us out, but you know what? If there's enough volatility in this, it definitely could still stop us out. So, got to be careful. Make sure you get at least a 74 entry. I wouldn't really risk getting into this much higher. You could probably maybe get in at 0.75, but yeah, I don't know. I still think that's not going to leave yourself a ton of room. So 0.75 is going to be the risky entry for sure. Bottom at 0.75 here, so we might actually get 0.74. We gapped up to 0.76 again. Buy signal, and it's gone. Wiped it out right there. Yeah, I mean, maybe you want to get in at 0.75. Very looking good. We narrowly missed our stop there, but it's back up. We're hitting $13. This is a good place to take some profits. Taking some profits. Veru, $13-ish. Looking good. CTM dropping to stop, so we'll be stopping on the remainder. Remember how I said this is going to be one of those days where you want to take profits early. SPRC, nice bounce here, hit down to 140, back up to 155, 156. Hopefully you got in on SPRC. If you didn't, you really missed out on it. That was a huge gap up right there. I knew it was looking good, so, you know, one of those things where even though we got stopped out on that first one, you just had to kind of give it the room to really just jump in on it and hope for the best. But yeah, 155. If you got in, it looks like a good place to take some profits. SPRC 155-ish. Definitely would have taken profits sooner if I saw that it was moving up, but sometimes you just miss something like that. GCT's down, CTM's down, Org's still headed down, AHL's not doing much. Veru hit that 1305 area, bounced down a little bit to VWAP. It looks like it's probably going to bounce off VWAP and head back up. SDC's back down to that 0.75 area. You know what? We're right at the bottom of 0.75. I'm really hoping that we can break down just a tiny bit more to 0.74 here, but I'm not sure it's going to give us 0.74 anymore. It's really struggling to break down any further, which is honestly not a bad thing. We are finding some support at that 0.75 level, which means if we do see 0.74, maybe it's going to be a bad thing and not a good thing, right? Yeah, you know what? I'm going to have to buy in at 0.75 and move my stop up. Going to move my stop up to 0.73. This could be me just getting, you know, a little bit greedy here, a little impatient, but we have to try something on this. It could run without us at this point, so if it's not going to break down any further, then we need to kind of take that chance. DWAC, making this move back up here, up to $22. Honestly, the range isn't enough for me to make me want to really play it. Veru back down a little bit. SPRC still running here, so you know, it hit 159. You could take a little bit profit, 162 right at that resistance area. We'll just have to wait and see. Did I get an entry? I did. It was very late. Well, not like super late, but you know, fairly late. 143. So yeah, pretty late. I could have probably Probably squeaked out a 140, but I didn't catch it in time, so I had to get in pretty high there, considering where I wanted to get in. All right, so we see a drop on SDC. This is kind of what we were waiting for. It's a little lower than I wanted it to be. So if you waited for that entry, 173 is looking like that's where you're going to want to get in. If you did get in 173, you're looking at 171 as your stop then. At this point, I guess we're kind of looking at this to bounce off that 20 EMA, hopefully. If it continues to break down to 172, I'd really strongly consider just cutting it instead. I'm not sure if I want to see this any lower now. Now it's one of those things where, I waited so long for 0.74, dropped down to 0.73, and now I'm not sure I even want to be in this any longer. Now I'm going to hold it for a little bit here. I think, you know what, if we get back up to 0.74, what's the, we're not even at a cent. No, we're just hitting a cent spread, so I'm going to have to limit sell out at 0.74 a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and try and take a little bit of profit at 0.74. Profit 0.74, SDC, and say got in 0.73. Yeah, so you're gonna have to try and limit sell. If you try to market sell at 0.74, you'll likely just get filled at 0.73, and that'll just be kind of a waste. So you're probably best bets to do that. We're breaking through that resistance on Veru, looking good still. We're at 1316 here, making its way up to about that almost 1330 area. 1350 would probably be the next area I'd be looking to take a little bit off the table. SPRC still, or SDC still struggling. SPRC still looking okay. So considering where I got in here at 143, I'm going to give it to 139 here. I wouldn't really move that stop up any higher. 4 cents is probably the max. So hopefully we see something good out of that. SDC still struggling here, but you know what? It does look like it's got potential to turn around. We're seeing a lot of random candles here that aren't really telling us a whole lot. Some are bullish, some are bearish, so it's good to take a little bit off the table the second you can here, 0.74, and just kind of leave the rest be and see what happens. This could be a good win, or it could be a pretty quick, relatively small loss. So just have to see what happens with that. When did I get into SDC? 0.73. It was a big struggle trying to wait for 0.74, and by the time I look back, it was 0.73. So we're breaking down a little bit more at that 0.72 level where I didn't really want to see it, and I really don't want to see it this low. This could just be more of a breakdown. We did just get bearish on that MACD there, so that could be another issue, right? So this could be something that ends up not panning out, even though we waited so long anyway. Veru took a little bit of a drop below that support area, but looks like it might break back above. SPRC still holding. This looks like a nice little consolidation before a run. Market's looking pretty weak today. Yeah, SDC drops a little bit more to the bottom of 0.72. Move back up to 0.73. So, it is what it is, I guess. XPEV dropped down to, undisclosed area of support, I guess. Here at 850, yeah, I'm not really seeing a whole lot. Maybe if we go to the daily scale, we'll see something. Yeah, nothing concrete here. This just looks like it's been gapping up a little bit. 830 might be an area of support. Yeah, but below that, nothing that's really going to help us. So I don't know if I really want to try something on this stock. Yeah, SDC is just kind of slowly breaking down. But we'll see. We'll see if we can get something out of it. SPRC looking pretty good here, 154. Still looking at that 162 area for some more profits to take. Veru hitting that 1350 area. We actually hit 1360. So like I said, another good place to take some profits. Well, not very, Veru. Okay, cool. Looking good there. You know what? We got resistance to that $14 level. So that's pretty much where we're wanting to take profits again and probably take most out is around 14. So we'll have to see if we can hit that level. SDC still kind of just doing its thing here, not doing a whole lot. Volume's relatively low. We're not seeing a lot of price action anymore. It could take us a little bit to get to that 0.74 level, but make sure you have a limit sell there just to get out at least a little bit here. GCT is moving back up. It almost hit that 200 EMA. 580, bounced back up to $6. Not really liking what I'm seeing here on this yet. Seeing a lot of selling volume on these wicks, so not necessarily ready to jump in on that. CTM, yeah, same story. We're not really seeing a lot of volume. We're not seeing a lot of price action, so nothing going on there. I think SPRC is probably looking the best, which is honestly really sad right now. We just bounced up to 13 or 73.5 here. So if we hit 0.74 here, that would be great. And we also need the liquidity to get out, which honestly shouldn't be too much of a problem. These candles have about 20k volume on them. Yeah, I'm not buying anywhere near 20k on that, so I should be able to get out if it hits 0.74. We'll see though. Veru holding $14 here, so this is where we're looking to take some more profits on Veru. So we're looking really, oh crap, what did I just do there? Okay, fixed it. Looking really good on Veru here. Still gonna hold a little bit, but you know, that's about it, not a whole lot. SPRC back down pretty good here to this area, 145. We could probably get rid of all of these areas that are green, just to kind of not mess with the levels too much here. We are looking at 162 to take some more profits, so we'll be holding on for that. If it drops back down and it hits our stop at 138, I may actually just buy back in because we're not seeing a lot of momentum in the market right now. We're hit 74 cents here. We actually hit 0.76, so hopefully you managed to squeak out some profits here. That was a lot better than I thought. It's looking like it's picking up a little bit of momentum here. We're seeing that shift, which is good. So maybe you got a 0.74 or higher, at least with some of your shares. Hopefully anyway, that you took some profit. I mean, there's still opportunity. I'm sure it'll move back up a little bit if you didn't, but that was a nice little move there. I wish I caught the top of it, but I'm still holding on to some. So hopefully we see this start to reverse here and move back up, and maybe this does actually end up being a pretty good win. That would be great. We are dropping down to 141 here, very close to that stop at 139. So I'm looking at maybe like 138, 137 to get back in. We did touch 139 there. So we're looking very, very close to an entry around that point. GCT moving up. I don't think I got stopped out on this. I didn't get stopped out on it yet for whatever reason, but we're very, very close, and I'd still be looking to get in more shares around that 138 level if we do. Veru's still climbing here, 1430-ish. STC back down to that 73 level. Dwac not really doing much. Veru is still climbing. AHL's got nothing going on. We're going to close that down. Or just breaking down all day. We'll close that down. CTM, I'm not sure I'm done with this yet. I think that this could have a possibility of climbing again. So I'm going to go ahead and keep that chart open for now. GCT's, it's looking okay. I mean, the range on it's not great. We're looking at 580 to, if it reaches its high, 645, which all in all is not really great. I'd much rather take my chances with the SDC or SPRC here. So, you know, we'll run with those for now. We'll look at other things as they pop up as well. We got LYL popping up. Quite a bit of volume here. Candles are definitely ranging. We've got 60 cents here all the way to 72, which is actually pretty huge. So we're going to leave this one open because there's good potential there. Oh, great. We got fun. You know what? It's moving. It's got an okay range to it, but I really don't ever play that, so we'll go Sun instead. Sun is something that's been running quite a bit lately. We've caught some pretty huge moves on Sun. I think we took this from like, I think it was $1.90 or something to $3 the other day, and I think it's possible the stock does it again. We're at 1460 here on Veru, so our runner is doing fantastic here. We're almost a whole another dollar up. I'd say once we hit $15, we maybe cut the runner. or getting close to $15, you could cut the runner. SPRC still hovering around. Okay, I finally got stopped out there. I'm looking at maybe getting in, yeah, probably 137 here. So I'm going to go ahead and jump to SPRC. 136-ish, I'm going to say, because 136, 137. Going to go for that 155 level. And then a 130, just give it 133, because I really don't want to see this break down to a new level. If we see this break down to a new low, that's going to be pretty much game over for the stock. So yeah, 133 is going to be that level we want to watch for. Okay. So we saw 130, 137. Looks like it's moving up again, so that's good news for us. Sun, you know what? It looks like a nice consolidation, a nice bounce. We do see some support in that area. I do like that 173 level. I would say probably getting at 175 is probably the best bet. So I'm going to go Sun 175, or around 175. I think like you could probably give this close to 6 cents. You're probably looking at about a 5-cent stop. So as long as you can get your stop down to about 170, I think that's going to be the safest bet. So 170 is going to be the stop. We're probably going to want to get this at least to the $2 range, right? That would be fantastic. We could hit $2 on this. So give it about 5 cents of room from wherever you get in. And that is fun. Ideally, you want to be putting your stop at this 170 or lower level, but if you're patient enough to get that, I don't know. SPRC is breaking down, so we will not be staying in this trade, that's for sure. I'll take that stop out. All right. This was SPRC. GCT is starting to make its move here, so it is moving back up to that high. Like we said, the range on that's not that great. We did hit $15 on Veru here, so we're going to be looking at closing out that runner. Taking the rest out of Veru here around $15. Whoop, $15. That was big. That was a big play. And this is why we don't normally play stocks this size, but we don't ignore when they move, because you can find stocks between that $10, $15 to $20 range that can give you the kind of profits you're looking for, and Veru was exactly that, right? If you play from the bottom to the top like we did, well, not quite the bottom. I think I got in 1233. Bottom was 1211. But in any case, bring it anywhere from $12 to $15 is pretty big money. So good on anybody who jumped in on that and made some money. Sun's looking not too bad here. Did hit that 175 level. So 175, you are looking at that 170 stop that we were hoping for, which is pretty much exactly where we want to be on that. What else we got going on? SPRC is just hitting a pretty massive breakdown. I'd say we're probably looking at a 1 minute 200 EMA bounce. We'll see what happens when it hits that level. It could just break through and continue down. It could not even hit that level and come back up. I mean, it looks to me like it's definitely doable for it to hit that level since it's breaking down further. I mean, the real bullish area is 144, right? So anything above 144 is looking good. Anything below that, it's kind of iffy. I do think this could go for the big breakdown. LYL is back down to that 70 or 64 cent area. This could be another good penny stock play. I'm not really convinced on it just yet, but you never know. Sun's treating us pretty well here. Bounced down to that 175 level, giving us exactly what we wanted. Back up to that 180 level. You could take some profits at 181 if you want. 6 cents is pretty good for a stock this size. We just had a nice jump there, so I'm going to go ahead and say taking some profit. Can't turn that down, getting 10 cents out of it or 11 cents out of it or even more. I mean, it hit all the way up to 188, so you could have gotten 13 cents out of it if you really pushed it. But, that's a pretty good place to take some profits on this. It's not $2 yet, but we'll take some. Definitely want to make sure you're securing some profits on your way up. SPRC kind of looks like it's bottoming out, but I'm not seeing any form of support anywhere, so kind of hard to just jump in on something like that. So I'm going to wait it out a little bit. CTM has nothing going on with it. GCT, it's looking okay. Bands are starting to tighten here. We see it start moving up. It does almost reach that high there. We're going to find some resistance at that 645 area, and then you're going to find some at 660 there. Hopefully, it sees maybe a pullback and starts getting a little more volatile, and then we could look at it to get in. Sun, again, nice jump there up to 195. Make sure you secure some more profits. Hard to turn that down. We almost hit 195 there. Looks like we pretty much picked the perfect place to get in. We saw the pullback down to 75 cents there, 175, and bounced right up to almost at PT at this point, which is pretty fantastic. I thought this was going to be a little bit longer of a play though, so we'll have to see. We'll have to see how fast we hit this. We just hit 175 there. If we can break 175, $2 is going to be a psychological barrier, but we have broken it before, so you know what? Maybe we break it again pretty quick here. There's $2 right there. Make sure you take a little bit more off the table. Actually, technically, I should be calling PT on this. I'm surprised we hit that as fast as we did. I'm going to leave a runner, obviously, because we don't know how high this could potentially go, but I'm very surprised we hit $2 on the stock so quickly. That was a pretty big play, actually, going from 175 to $2 to a 1 so far. SPRC is looking like it's coming back. I don't trust it. Veru still holding $15. It's not really giving us much of a pullback for an entry. It's been riding the 9 EMA the whole time. It might be bullish here again, but I'm not really inclined to jump in on something so high. Not seeing any volume on Lyle here, so we're probably going to just leave it be. We have a couple other tickers we can look at. There's JWell. You know what? I see JWell a lot, and I never see it moving the way I want it to move. SGLY. Also a no-go. All the momentum so far has been on SPRC. Surprisingly enough, because we're not seeing much momentum out of that right now anyway. When was the last alert? 7 o'clock. A couple minutes ago. Yeah, you know what? It's okay. I don't know if it's a play right now, but it might be a play in a bit. We'll see. SPRC is not doing too bad. Sun's not doing too bad either. We expect to see a pullback like this on something that's ran up so high, so not necessarily worried about our runner. We can get rid of SGLY. We may look for a re-entry here on Sun. So, I mean, as a re-entry, we're probably looking at 183. Hopefully we get that. Was just going over that, Alejandro, about 183. That would be the level I'd be looking to pick some more up at because we have a lot of support building in this area. And our stop loss could be relatively tight because 180 is looking like we've got some support there, right? And then below that, 177. So I'd be waiting for a 183 dip, depending what it looks like when it gets down there, of course. But right now, if it dipped down pretty quickly and hit 183, I'd be looking to scoop some more up. Large caps are slow. Small caps are not much better. Our favorite stock, Sun, is running again. I think that's probably our biggest gain today is on Sun. The rest has just kind of been pretty crap, actually. Well, that's not true. Veru gave us a pretty good trade, too. I wouldn't really call it... It's definitely not penny stock anymore. I mean, but it gave us a pretty decent play. Got in 12.30 all the way up to, $15. So that wasn't too bad. Sun was just pretty amazing with how quick that was. We got 175 to $2. Yep. Sun was doing pretty good there. Unfortunately, you know what? I feel like I can never catch the full move on Sun. I always end up selling too early. But this time, you know what? I got pretty close to the top. I'm still holding on to a little bit here. I've got about 100 shares of it, but it's not doing too bad. I'm happy that we hit PT real quick on that, actually. SPRC continues to drop. So this is the 200 EMA point at that 120 level that we were talking about. This could be a good place to buy in. This would be probably a proper recovery play. The problem is when you start changing time frames, that 200 EMA just get further and further. So this could be a false area of support on the 1 minute. It's kind of hard to say at this point. I think there's definitely going to be some buyers here, but how many is the question. Sun's moving back up here. It didn't give us that entry we wanted at 183. Looking a little more like 184 right now would be anywhere in that area. You know, probably 185 to 180 is going to be the buy range, but didn't give it to us quite yet. Veru's having a little bit of a drop here. Around this $14 range, we'll watch. If it looks like it's going to hold there, it might just bounce right off, and we could end up getting another entry. You know what? The bands are closing right now as well, which is looking pretty good. I'd say, yeah, if we can hit $14 on Veru, that could be a buy. LYL, yeah, nothing going on with that. I don't like the warrants pop up on my scanner. That could mislead people. Dwack W. Yeah, it's a warrant. You don't trade warrants. You can trade warrants, I guess, but I don't trade warrants. So we're seeing that drop on Veru. We almost hit that $14 area. Oops, did not mean to do that. GCT not doing much. We're almost back at the high here on Sun. Man, unfortunately, the pullback just wasn't enough. I wanted to see 140 or 183 on that. It only gave us down to 187 or 186, something like that. I was probably a little too particular with that entry. I could have definitely already made my money back and more, so damn. Yeah, sometimes having your rules in place is a good thing, and then other times kind of kicks you in the ass when you get stuff like that. Veru, you know what? Again, also came very close to the buy point where we wanted to buy into and looked like it had a healthy bounce. So you could look at getting in around the 1420 area. That could be a very good place to buy. Yeah, probably 1420 if you're looking for that entry. Sun obviously up too high right now. We're not going to be buying back into Sun at these levels. We want it down lower. I would say, you know what? At this point, if you can get it at 187 or 188, that's probably a good buy as long as we see the right volume and the right positioning on the MACD here. And the price action doesn't look terrible. So we'll wait on that. Veru's getting close. 1440. I mean, realistically, you could get in at 1440 and probably be okay. I'm just being like ultra picky on the stock because you could give this a 40-cent stop, a 50-cent stop, you know, and get yourself below this area of support. So that's basically all you want to do. You basically want your stop around 1390. You may be a little lower. Oops, I definitely did not put that at 1390. You know, probably 1390, maybe a tad bit lower. You could go 1380 if you wanted to. I don't think it's absolutely necessary to get your stop any lower than that, but you know, it is what it is. So I'll put an alert out here. Veru. Gonna go for about 1440 on it. And we're gonna go for $16 even, and then maybe like a 1390 stop out. So that's ideally what we'd like to see out of this. We are seeing this drop down to the 1440 level quite a bit, so you could get into Veru 1440. Obviously, getting in lower is going to benefit you only more. It won't really hurt you, unless, of course, you're breaking down completely and then deciding to buy and going long on something that's looking absolutely bearish, but story for another time. We did see up to 0.76 again here on SDC. I know probably most of you have forgotten about this stock. I haven't. It's still in the back of my head. I'm still holding on to some of this. I'm still hoping to see like 80 cents out of it. I don't think that's completely unrealistic. We're starting to see some momentum building again in this. It's definitely doable. So keep that in mind. Veru bounced nicely off that 1440 area, already back up to $15. If you got in around 1440, go ahead and take some profits. Take some profits. Take some profit. Taking some profit. Veru $15. Would it be plural profits? It seems like bad English to me. Take some profits. Yeah, that's bad English. It's just profit. In any case, yeah, take some profit. Sun with a nasty drop down to 186. That's the buy level we were talking about. So, you know what? With a drop like that, I'm willing to try it. Sun 186. You know, maybe like 210 on this with a 180. You could probably almost push 6 cents out of this. So I'm gonna go 181. Give it 5 cents. 181 right here. Okay. Looking pretty healthy, honestly, for something that just took a nasty drop from the high a day here. Well, just about high a day, actually. Just touched it. Got rejected pretty hard. We can expect to see that again, so make sure you take some profits around that point, but looking pretty good. You know what? The latter half of our trading day going a lot smoother than the first half. We did walk away with some profits on things in the take some profits on things. Did I say it again, or is that the proper term this time? Since the sentence structure is different. I'm thinking way too much about this. Anyways, what was I saying? The first half was kind of we did walk away with some profit on things, but I think the second half is just going a lot smoother. Things are looking a little bit more deliberate here, so. $1.96, as long as we're 10 cents up, make sure you take some profits. Profit. Taking some profit. Sun, 198-ish. That's going to bother me. And I keep switching how I'm saying it. You'd think I would know. English is my only language, but I don't. I'll have to consult a linguist about it. Profit is already plural. Yeah. Okay. Profit's already plural. Yeah, I would suppose. Yeah, I suppose it is. English is such a weird language. And then, like, the plural of goose is geese, but then the plural of moose isn't meese, it's just moose. And there's cactus, but the plural of that is not cactuses, it's cacti. Yeah, it's strange. And then some words are already inherently plural, like profit. I can understand why people think that English is a very, very hard language to understand because it is. It is very, very difficult if it's not your first language. It's even difficult if it is your first language. I know a lot of people who can't spell words properly or use them properly. Sun's still looking okay. I'm glad we got some profit out of it because it's turned down a little bit. Volume's down a little bit lower. Veru still looking okay. We did hit $15. We hit up to 15.30. Around 15.50, I'd be thinking about taking a little more off the table. SDC still holding. XFEB not really doing anything. Anything new popping up? Not really. There's a couple things, but they're not probably not good. LYTS? No. Okay. Q. Also no. CTM we already have. What else we got going on here? Just Vapo, and then we got nothing else really. There's Funko. That's just fun to say. I was really hoping the stock wasn't going to be an $8 stock though. 760 to 885. The range there is not terrible. What are we looking at right now? 820 to about 850. Okay, that's probably not worth playing, but we could keep it open for now. GCT, nice green candles here. Nice momentum building. We've got this going from 630 to 680. So you know what? That's an okay range. That's actually not that bad. Sun looking okay as well. We're getting maybe a buy signal. It hasn't closed yet, so we won't know for certain on Toro if that's going to be a buy signal or not. But we'll see. GCT, nice pull. SDC not doing a whole lot. Funko not doing a whole lot. CTM, I'm going to close it down. I was waiting for some momentum there. We're not getting it. But GCT's got some momentum again, so hopefully that remains good. Remains good. I'm having a problem with English today. Nope, remains good sounds like a proper sentence to me now. Okay, I'll go with that. Almost at $7 here on GCT. I would like to see a good pullback so I could probably buy back into this because now I'm getting a little sense of FOMO. Probably about 650 would be an ideal place to buy in. I could see a lot of support in that area. But you know what? We'd have to break through the 660 support, and we might even have some a little higher here. I don't know. Maybe 666. I doubt it though. We're still probably looking at 660 for support. Sun not doing a whole lot yet. Vero at least holding the $15 range, which is good. So how's everybody doing today? Are people making money? Are we losing money today? Did we lose money on the first half and make it back on the second half? I feel like that could be the case for some people. First half was definitely more of a struggle. It's turn a profit. Yeah. You're losing paper money? At least it's paper money. I actually had a custom metal sign built. I don't know if I'll put it up in here anywhere, but it's like a chart and it says, I don't lose, I either win or I learn. Because I feel like that's definitely the case when it comes to stocks. There's really no losing. You're either winning or you're learning. Made 4 times your daily goal. Damn. The first GCT stock got you? Yeah. And now look at it. Doesn't that just make you salt? Did you get back in? 28 ounce? You did swing short. Nice. Brought back to the 200 EMA. Bought back on the 200. So, oh, nice. That, you know what? It was a good area to buy. Yep. And if you bought back there, if you were holding all the way till now, way to go, because that's a massive trade. Got a before VWAP. You know what? Still pretty good. Good to hear. SDC is looking okay still. Very, a little bit of a drop here. Should have held apparently, yeah, but nobody could have seen that coming, right? Like this was, you get these momentum plays. These aren't things that you know that are happening until it happens. So you kind of have to be lucky with those and just stay in. That's why I like leaving runners on things, right? Even if it doesn't amount to a whole lot later, it still feels good. Had a bad stop. Wait, did you stop out on the 200 EMA bounce? Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Rakib? 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 I'm gonna go for Rakib. Because if you stopped out on GCT after the bounce, that would be a shame. Because that was a big run. Still hoping Sun picks back up here, and I think it will. We're seeing pretty heavy consolidation. Volume's a little bit lower right now, but we're not really giving up anything on price, so it's not looking too bad so far. GCT looks like it might come back down a little bit here. Oh, recovered your money? Well, you know what? At least you recovered your money. There's always tomorrow to make more, or later in the day. Could see some things start running in the latter half of the day. I think we have, do I have the calendar open? I don't think I have the calendar open. Economic calendar. Economic calendar. Yeah, it's on Market Watch. You just can't find it unless you're looking for it specifically. So yeah, we're on Monday. We've got consumer credit at 3 p.m. Okay, so we only got things later today. We got election day tomorrow. Hmm. Richmond Fed President Tom Barkin speaks on outlook, wholesale inventories. New York Fed President John Williams speaks at Swiss National Bank event. Yeah, you know what? It's the market's just crap. I'm sure the Powell talks again sometime this week. I can't really see it. There's a lot of stuff going on Thursday and Friday, that could really mess things up. Next week's major U.S. economic reports and Fed speakers. Yeah, that's next week though. We don't want to worry about that today. Yeah, yeah. You know what? It's a whole lot of the Fed's trying to beat people down right now, and it's working. So that's why the market's just been crap today. Veru's looking good though. Sun still holding. Let's see. Would you consider buying into Sun if it falls back to the 180s again? Um, Probably low 180s. I would say this is looking more like a pullback, like a decent sized pullback rather than consolidation right this second. So I'd be a little bit wary about jumping in somewhere around like the high 180s. But if you hit somewhere around the low 180s, you start finding areas of support again. There's a better chance of a bounce and a better chance of actually catching the bottom. Whereas if you bought in now and your stop loss is near the bottom of the 180s, maybe you get saved at the bottom and it bounces, but you're not going to get a pretty optimal entry, and it could be a while before you see profits on it. So this is a scenario where I'd rather miss out on the trade if it didn't go low enough than, you know, than buy in high and hope for the best. So yes, if it was at the low 180s, I'd be looking to buy in. At the high 180s, I'd be pretty skeptical about jumping in. STC still not doing anything. Veru, like we said, we're looking for 15.50 to take some more profits, and then $16 cut most. Sun still holding on here, but yeah, looking a little grim, I have to say. GCT, not really doing a whole lot. Nice, probably what we could consider a bull flag here, very roughly anyway. Not really, I'm not really an artist, but you know, somewhat of a bull flag here. So if you start seeing this break out of it, that was a really terrible, like terrible drawing of a bull flag. Um, yeah, something like that. That's pretty close to a bull flag anyway. It's looking half decent. I think GCT could be a buy here, but I myself, I'm a little skeptical about buying at this level. I think it's a little high for me. I don't really like taking pattern breakouts on something this high, but it looks like I should have because it already went up from, 680 to $7, so could have made 20 cents there. It's back down now. Yeah. What do we have for trades? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We're actually at 10 trades, so I don't actually have to take it because I'm maxed out. So that's not bad. That's doesn't put me in the tough decision of having to jump back into it. It's actually a good thing I checked, or I would have been probably using too much cash. Tomorrow, I don't know what tomorrow's going to look like, but hopefully better than today. What are we at for time here? We got a couple minutes left. I still think Veru's going to hit that at least 15.50. I still think $16 is definitely on the table. Sun's looking good. We saw it drop down to the $1.84, so we were getting pretty close to the low 180s there. That could be an area to consider. Bounce back up to 196 here, so we're looking pretty decent. We're back up to where we took profits last time. I think I took it at 197, but still pretty decent. GCT is touching that $7.10, so both leg it is, I guess. It is breaking out. Veru's still looking okay. SPRC breaking down. So now that we see this breaking down, maybe you go to the 2-minute scale and say, okay, maybe it's going to be a 2-minute, 200 EMA bounce. I would say you're probably more likely to see a 5-minute one, but at this point, like you're really bringing this all the way back down to the bottom here, and I don't like that. There's going to be no momentum down there, so I would just honestly probably stay away from SPRC. Is it always that if a stock ran to its high at pre-market, it takes a dip after the market opens? I'm having a hard time formulating or understanding what you mean because it's always everything we play will be making a new high in the pre-market because that's what we scan for, is that's where the momentum comes from, right? Because we're looking at things with news. Yes, we call that the gap in crap. It doesn't necessarily have to be a pre-market high. Sometimes if you see something like GCT, um, well, you know what? Not even really, because this I wouldn't really consider this a massive pump going from 630 to 680. But do we have an example of that today? Yeah, I would say like SPRC is probably a gap in crap. I got to come up with a better term for that. That sounds very childish for something that's actually not. But yeah, like something like this, when you see something go from like $1.17 to $1.73, that's like a solid 70% gains, right? So something like this, you can consider this to be something that is probably going to come back down pretty substantially, unless you have substantial news to back it up. This was only a phase 2 study that went well, so you know what? This isn't them saying we've got FDA approval, the drug is great, we're ready to launch, going to make us billions of dollars. Now they're just saying that a part of the study went well. So a 70% increase on that sounds a little unrealistic. So you could probably expect to drop off that. Um, I'm long biased, so myself, I mainly don't look for gap and craps. I'm looking for the upside potential. I'm saying, okay, people are going to be excited about this. There might be a pullback. I'll play the pullback. We'll make some money off that, and then we'll let this thing just do whatever it's going to do. If I was short biased, SPRC was looking good. You know, hindsight's 2020. Maybe STC was looking more like a short potential than a long. Um, Stuff like that. Dwac could have gone either way because it really didn't do a whole lot. We saw that move in the pre-market going from 21 to 30 and then back down. So at this point, like when the market opened, it really could have just gone back up, right? That wouldn't have been necessarily a short potential. You saw the gap and you saw the crap already. So yeah, and it hasn't really done a whole lot. So Veru's hitting that 1550 area, so that's where we're taking some profits. That's what I know it as too, the gap and crap. Yep. Um, so hopefully that answers your question. Not everything is going to dip right on open. It depends on a lot of factors, and I tell my students a lot that you know what, if you're trading when market opens, you should be waiting 5 to 8 minutes before you take any plays because you really can't tell what's going to happen in the market. I just want to point out that Sun did hit 210 here. Good place to take some profits. Veru hit that 1550 area. I'm going to be putting these alerts out later, but because I'm talking right now, but also good place. We talked about that 1550 level for taking profits. But you know what? Like sometimes you don't see things run up to pre-market and then drop. Sometimes they in a more bullish market a lot more frequently you'll see things like just take off. So it's tough, right? It's tough to say what's going to happen right on open. That's why I tell most people just to wait the first couple minutes. I don't practice what I preach, and it's not because I'm better, it's just because I'm impatient. I know better than to play the first 5 minutes, but you know what? It's one of those things where I always get the sense of FOMO that I'm not going to catch the momentum, especially when we're in a bear market like this, because we don't really know how long the momentum is going to last in the market. It could only be the first couple minutes. We could miss something really awesome the first couple minutes, and it absolutely kills it, and then the market's just dead afterwards, and you're sitting there, sitting there feeling like a failure because you didn't get anything and the market's just done for the day already. But yeah, ideally you don't want to play the first couple minutes because you don't know what's going to happen. The gap and fade. Yeah, you could call it the gap and fade. Gap and crap just sounds so good though. Like it sounds childish, but I like that it rhymes. Anyways, gonna put out those alerts now. Taking profits, Sun to 10ish. And then Veru, what do we have? 1550? Was that what we were talking about? Yeah, 1550-ish. We're down on both of these now, but hopefully you stopped and took some profits while we were talking, because both these ran up pretty good. Okay, so but they're both having pretty decent pullbacks here. I do think that Sun could potentially go higher today. We're still seeing higher highs, right? We saw this hit up to 205 here. We saw 205 in a breakdown, but this time we actually saw a break above. We saw it hit 210, so we hit a new level. We've got previous levels all up here from when we were playing it before. Um, would be a good idea to keep these into consideration if you continue to play Sun and you see it go higher today. I think that some of these levels could hold true for some resistance. Veru still looking fairly bullish. We did break a new high here. So again, you know what? It looks almost exactly the same as Sun, except this one was a little bit lower than the high of this one, which, you know, is okay, I guess. I would have been more inclined to believe that after this, it would have been a little bit more of a breakdown, but we did have a volatility spike, brought us up to that 1550 level, which is great because now we're mostly out of the trade. We could end up stopping out on the rest, but I'm not entirely convinced on that either. I think this could still run. GCT is still looking pretty good. It looks like it's consolidating here. We did see it run up to that, 710 area on the breakout, came back down, consolidating on the 20 EMA here at 670. This could end up being, a 740, 750, maybe an $8 stock today at lunch hour. So keep that in mind. I don't think Dwack's worth playing. SDC, no volume, just complete breakdown. Funko, maybe if you're looking for smaller gains and more consistent price action, even the price action on this isn't really looking great. So you could play that, but I really wouldn't suggest it either. SPRC could be a good recovery. I don't know though, man, if this breaks down any further, it's just going to be completely dead. It's already looking fairly dead, but it could come back still. So I would keep an eye on it. I wouldn't necessarily be looking to take a play off until you see some like actual, maybe some levels above that 130 area. If it starts breaking out of 130, 132, 133 and above, maybe then buy in for the recovery. But until then, I wouldn't really bother with it. So Sun's looking good, GCT's looking good, Veru's looking pretty decent. That's what I'd be focused on. As far as the money board goes, we made $987 today, puts us at 3.5% on the port. We're 29.5 K, so we're really close to what we wanted to get to for this challenge. We're going to be looking at just doing the cash cow for the rest of the month because starting a new one like right now just doesn't really make sense. So we'll continue doing this until the end of the month here. We're seeing an 87.8% win rate. And then as far as the trade summary goes, we made 73% today, which is not great. We only made 37%. What day was that? That was the 3rd. So that was just absolutely terrible. So, I mean, even 73% is looking pretty good right now. We only took one real stop out on SPRC. The rest at least hit the first price target. We got out enough to get out some small profits, SDC included. But yeah, not too bad today. I was kind of hoping for a better start to the week, but it's okay. It's not the worst. I'll take it. But other than that, hopefully y'all made some money. And very nice dip buy. Yeah, definitely. I do think that this could go up. I would say, you know what, if it breaks down from that $14 level, it's probably time to let it go. But beyond that, I think it still looks like it could be pretty bullish. So just keep an eye on it. But yeah, other than that, take care, guys. Hopefully you made some money. Hopefully your afternoon works out well for you guys. And I will see you again tomorrow.